Please come a bit closer so we can feel the a little bit more intimate.
我们再往前面再聚一点哦，不是要拍他照，而是我们等一下可以看得更清楚一点哦，不光只有拍他照而已哦。
Not so close.
也不用这么近哦。
Look, I know how you must feel right now. You are close to getting out in the cockpit. You are close to get out in these nice Audi sport cars and get on the track here at Penn Bay Circuit. I know what you're feeling. You're feeling you want to get out, you want to brake late, get the rear out a little bit and sort of helping it around the corner, getting the apex, and when it sticks, opening the throttle and then carry the speed out close to the wall and getting closer to the car in front of you. That's what you want.
所以各位，我相信呢，现在大家应该已经开始在累积你的情绪哦。你一定要等一下，在这个赛道上面呢，找到一个最佳的入弯点。下一个圈数的时候呢，再更晚一点入弯，让你在最快的时间可以完成这场完全。
I have the feeling that's a little bit like you want to do that feeling because you know it's good. You get down the straight over the radio. Well done, you're doing good. Keep pushing. You're doing well. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. There's nothing better when you come out of the car. The mechanics, they will give you the feedback. You did great. They give you a high five. You tell them, oh, it was good tire choice. Very, very well done in terms of setup of the car. That's all what you want to do because soon, this afternoon, you want to be on the top step of the podium. And that's the peak experience you have when you have done well in your car. And that is what we want to cherish. These peak experiences in life. Maybe it's different. Maybe it's your child get born. Maybe it's your best day at work. But for some, it might be what you will feel later. You will cherish the moment in the car and having a great experience.
所以当然，大家等一下一定是最期待的就是你在这个圈数上面越做越快，越做越快，到最终呢，你拿到了这个站上了颁奖台的这好成绩了。那当然，这绝对是最值得纪念的一刻。
But now you can sit down again because it's now it's not about you anymore.
好，接下来不谈各位了哈。
Now it's about me. All right.
好，接下来要谈谈他自己喽。
Many years ago, in a very old house, on the first floor, on a gas station, a lovely woman gave birth to a little ugly boy.
好，在很多年前呢，在丹麦的一个小镇的一个壳牌加油站的2楼，然后有一个小男孩诞生哦。
Born on this gas station, already with gasoline flow in his bloodlines, and with that ugly face, they put over a little helmet. His dad put over a little helmet because he was a race car driver, and since then, his destiny was sealed.
所以各位，从加油站出生，血液里面就已经充满汽油了。没想到他爸爸，一位赛车手，他爸爸是赛车手哦，竟然在这个小男孩的头顶上面塞了一顶安全帽给他。从此呢，命运就决定了一切了哦。
And the passion was, of course, born at that point. And I also already, from very early on, the little ugly boy dreamt about being a race car driver.
所以至此呢，其实啊，对他来讲，这个是另外一股热情的点燃哦，因为他一直以来就是想要成为一位赛车手。
The picture with the broken Ford Escort Mark I was on the wall, and I found it, and I looked up to it and started laughing and going, "Daddy, you crashed!" And he sort of ran to me, and I could see his determination in his eyes, and he goes to me and he said, "Tom, yeah, I crashed, but you know, we don't give up. I finished the race. I did not win, but I finished the race. So don't give up, and when somebody gives you something, take it with respect, but don't give up, all right?" Yeah, Robin agreed. Yes, that's you agree with my dad. Thank you.
好，所以各位，这张墙上的照片呢，是当时他爸爸有一场比赛撞车了之后呢，被拍下来的。可是呢，他作为一个小小的小孩哦，他竟然是指着这张照片嘲笑他老爸：“你撞成这个样子，好好笑哦。”结果他爸一脸严肃的冲上来跟他讲：“你给我停住哦！我虽然撞成这样，但是我还是坚持下去，完成比赛哦。所以你听好了，你绝对不准放弃。”
But the passion was that, of course, I wanted to be karting. I did karting, starting driving at the gas station, in and out, when people came in to refuel the cars. So that was kind of good to learn the traffic early on. Later, and as you see on the picture on the right, I won what they call the region championship in Scandinavia with Swedish drivers, Finnish drivers, Norwegian drivers, and Danish drivers. And obviously being very, very proud, I could see already there was another mistake I learned from. Maybe I should not have put the Adidas shorts so far up in the costume on there. Or maybe I should have learned to stand with a trophy a little bit different.
好，所以各位，这张照片是他的卡丁生涯哦。那卡丁车很多职业车手的生涯都是这边哦。那但是他说，他其实都是从很多的错误的之中学习起来哦，包含这次他是第一名哦，他第一名，但这个是区域的冠军赛哦，这包含那个北欧里面的一些丹麦、挪威、瑞典等等这些车手哦，他第一名。结果呢，他这次里面，即便他第一名，他还是犯了一些错，包含。第一个，裤子可以不用拉那么高，对不对？第二个呢，奖杯可以不要这样子握，我可以握成别的样子，比较好看一点哦。
But in karting, it was a great environment. I learned from the mistakes. Sometimes you did good. This was a fantastic race. We actually changed lead 8 times before I won that final and won that championship. And I remember my dad was very, very proud of me in that way, but I think he was more proud of me winning a fire extinguisher than actually when I look back at the picture and realizing that Jonas Carlsen had done pretty well further on, and so has Mika Häkkinen in the red shirt, winning on to winning a couple of championships in Formula One. So this was a great time and a very important fundament of the early career.
好，所以各位，这次呢，他真的赢得了冠军哦，而且赢得冠军之后，他父亲真的感到很欣慰，因为呢，比较欣慰的不是他拿到冠军，而是他获得了一个灭火器哦，他奖品是灭火器哦。而且各位有没有认得第2名那个是谁？Mika Häkkinen 哦，哇，所以各位他还比 Mika 还快哦，厉害厉害 ，Yeah。
Things went on from karting, doing Formula cars. I drove for Volkswagen in Germany, winning the F3 championship the year after Michael Schumacher. But then I went on to what was very important for my career. I drove 5 years in Japan, or living 4 years near Mount Fuji. And it was a fantastic career and a very good fundament for what further came, or eventually came.
哦，所以各位，他后来呢，从卡丁车发迹的时候呢，他其实就全世界各个比赛去跑哦，包含连德国的 F3的赛事，他其实拿他冠军的那年就是他第1年参赛，那前1年冠军叫Michael Schumacher 啊。好，所以呢 ，F3这个比赛他跑非常的受到瞩目之后呢，后来他移师到日本去跑 F3000、跑 F3等等这些，所以这些经验让他累积到后来成为一位非常出色的车手。
These, good times and sometimes good results and testing for Formula One. Suddenly, 4 days before the 24 hours of Le Mans.
Oh, yes.
Le Mans.
Very good.
The French people will call it Le Mans. But you choose, whatever you want to call it. But 4 days, 20 years ago, the phone call came due to the exploits in different race series around the world in the Formula One testing. And US Racing had heard about my little ugly name.
所以各位，在20年前哦，1997年的时候呢，就在利曼大赛的4天之前，他接到了一通电话。哦，就在4天哦，就4天后要跑比赛，结果4天前他接到一通电话。Yes.
I got the luck of fantastic teammates, Michele Alboreto from Ferrari and Formula One, Stefan Johansson, both from Ferrari and McLaren over the years. They had not won Le Mans, and they, with the team manager, had chosen to take in a chance on a young talent like me. They were stupid, weren't they? No. And look, a good old ugly Porsche, old car, and going into the race. And I didn't know the circuit. I had not been there. The track at Le Mans is 13.62 kilometers long, and I was very, very nervous.
哦，所以各位，后来那通电话是怎么样？那通电话说，我们4天后要比利曼哦，我们这里缺一个车手，你要不要过来？要不要过来？当然要过来哦。 对，这个是所有车手的梦。所以呢，他加入这个团队呢，这2位都是当年鼎鼎有名的这个 F1 的前辈哦。好，所以呢，他进到这里面哦，他其实真的很紧张哦。为什么？因为这2位都是前辈，而且这个比赛从来没有跑过。这个赛道的长度有13.692公里这么长哦，对，你完全都是陌生，那对他来讲压力很大。
But isn't it sometimes in life, it's a bit like you today. You get an opportunity. When you get an opportunity, you really take yourself together. You concentrate, you focus, you get determined. And that's what I did with them. And suddenly it was not about you, and it was not about me. Suddenly it becomes we. Because in a Le Mans, you learn that the 3 drivers sharing the car, you have to be honest, you have to be persistent, you have to be determined in everything you do. And that's what I think is very, very great about the 24 Hours of Le Mans, because you can't cheat it. If you do mistakes, it will come in. If a temperature racing, if you ignore it, soon later that might be different. If there's a slow puncture, be on it immediately. Always be alert at Le Mans.
好，所以各位，对于利曼来讲的话，他就像今天各位能够下场的这样的一个机会，对他而言，他也是非常非常珍惜，所以他真的是十分谨慎。虽然很紧张，可是呢，他完完全全把他的每一丝每一毫的所有的专注力呢，全都用在比赛里面。因为在比赛里面，你绝对不能犯一点点错误。你犯的小错，或许现在没有什么影响，但是慢慢的后面可能温度上来了，你也会毁了你的比赛，甚至有时候只是一个小小的破胎。这件事情也足以毁了你的比赛。
But I didn't know that yet. I just arrived there and seeing a motorsports festival, exploring. People from all around the world gather for the 24 Hours of Le Mans. More than 200,000 spectators during the week are gathering for the race. So yes, I was nervous before I entered the race. I only got 17 laps in practice.
好，所以各位，即便是这样子哦，他真的还是只有4天可以准备。这4天他要做什么事情？他要把所有他的这些精神全部都灌注在这个24小时利曼大赛。但是呢，他只有跑了17圈的赛道哦，来熟悉这个赛道。各位，不要说赛道，你连车可能都还没有熟悉，17圈而已哦。
And you know, I know that these 2 experienced drivers, of course, that's for me to go and join them was very, very important. But even though that Michele with sunglasses, guys can look tough. Like even Robin, he looks tough. But underneath him, we know there's a big heart, and he's a man who really took me on board and gave me the good warmth. And they were not telling me, Tom, when you're driving, make sure you do this and that, and don't do that or whatever. They never told me like that. They said, hey, Tom, it's really good you're with us. We followed your career in Japan, and we're really happy you were with us. And I said, really? Good. And this is a way of nurturing and giving confidence into young people, young drivers, so they can hopefully show their best. I think people, go ahead.
No problem. OK， 所以各位，他刚才真的非常的谢谢他的队友，为什么？因为这些队友看起来都超酷，而且都是 F1 的一些非常有名的车手哦。可是呢，这些车手没有因为他是后生晚辈就对他支持来支持去的，反而是怎么样？反而非常欢迎他到这个团队里面来。哇，我们其实之前注意到你在日本跑得很不错哇，这次由你来帮我们跑，一定很棒哦。所以呢，给他的非常大的一个鼓舞哦。
I got in and I did almost 3 hours in the evening, and it get better and better. I was not really impressing a lot, but I got better and better. With them, have done what they did. The mechanics, in the evening, when I came out after the evening, I was speaking very, very fast because having passed the cars and have driven into the sunset, getting the sun straight in my eyes, all these things and learning the circuit better and better, I realized the mechanics were at least starting to look a little bit at me. There was 12 mechanics working in the team, and they could look at me like this, which was good. There was a little bit of eye contact, and I felt that it was going better.
所以各位，他一开始跑的这个前大概2个多小时哦，他其实刚好在傍晚起跑哦，在傍晚起跑的时候，他慢慢还有机会赶快把那个感觉堆叠起来哦。但是呢，他一开始没有非常厉害啊，但是因为那个场上车手都很棒，但是呢，他慢慢越来越好，越来越好。 然后后来呢，他发现他第一个进站休息之后，他下车之后呢，其他的那些技师啊，12个技师呢，看着他还觉得一副好像你蛮有料的这种感觉哦。这个他觉得光是看到这个眼神，他就觉得已经是一个肯定哦。
Like 3:20 at night, I was then back in the car again, and I knew going out of the night is the essence of Le Mans. I was very, very concentrated. I was a bit sort of looking forward, at the same time, the opposite. So it was very, very important to do well. And getting into the night, looking for that zone, looking for that rhythm. It's very quiet at night. There's not so many spectators, but you're accelerating out of the corner. And trying to get in. Suddenly, after I had been called into the pit twice for refueling, more than 2 hours had passed, and it was getting better and better. And you get into that part of the day of when it's 5 something, 5:20, 5:25, and then at a point, suddenly on the radio, he speaks to me in German, and he says, "Schnellste Runde, schnellste Runde." That means fastest lap. And it was very, very nice to hear that as a driver. I continued, of course, even with more confidence, and believe it or not, about 10 or 12 minutes later, I get a clear lap. And a clear lap at this long track at Le Mans, without having to pass any of the slower categories. Over the line I went. And on the radio, the German man didn't speak English and speak German anymore. He spoke to me in English. Lap record, keep it steady, Tom, keep it steady. And when you reach the expectations of your team, and there's nothing better. That's why I explained it like it was yesterday, but it's more than 20 years ago.
各位，他刚才这段讲得很激动，好像就在讲昨天发生的事情一样，但实际上呢，那个已经是20年前了。那时候他第一场下去跑之后呢，后来熟悉了赛道之后，他就开始换手了。换手之后，他再下一次进站的，再下一次上去车上跑的时候，已经是半夜的3点20分。各位，又是一个全新的开始，因为你要在全黑的环境当中，再次用最高的速度回到那个跑道。所以呢，他在那个跑道里面开始找到那个他的这个韵律哦。他刚刚讲说那首歌的那种旋律的那种感受。当他找回了那个韵律的时候，刚好到了差不多5点20、5点25，天微微亮起来的时候，他看清楚跑道的时候呢，他更敢跑了之后，很快的，他的这个车队经理从无线电上告诉他说，你刚创下的最快单圈，最快单圈是指说今天这场比赛目前为止你是最快的一个你是最快的一个。然后他觉得哇太好了，他还要继续拼，结果没有10分钟后刚才那个车队经理是用德文跟他讲，这回开始变成很激动，跟他讲英文，跟他讲说你创下了赛道的记录这个比赛跑了50几年以来，从来没有一个车手跑得像你这么快。哇，各位，赛道记录就我们 Tom 所创下的真的要给他一个掌声一下，好不好
I think the applause is for Randy. Thank you very much. Just to look at, we talked about but just look at the headlights from 20 years ago on this car. And then going through the night, and actually that's not really the night, that is into that's the 4 chicanes, the last 4 corners before you go up the start-finish straight, which has a lot of light around it as well. And then you go to the modern cars, one of the last cars I drove, the Audi R18 e-tron Quattro. Look at the full LED lights, the high beam, the laser light, all these things have seen just a journey has taken in technology. And of course, when I say when I joined Audi Sport, and that's really where it all starts to feel at home, really at home. Of course, you have been a part of a team which is marketing-wise Vorsprung durch Technik, but we know all behind the Vorsprung durch Technik is the human element. And with a flat organization, with Audi Sport or Audi over all these years, it has been for me a fantastic journey in a kind of passenger role in all those years.
好，所以各位，他才提到说他其实加入奥迪的这个车队呢，真的是一个非常非常幸运而且机遇非常好的事因为他说什么？他说我们奥迪是进化科技定义未来，但是在进化科技定义未来这件事情的后面，其实更大的是这种人性上面的这种关怀所以呢，他刚刚提到前面我们那个 R18的那个e-tron的那个头灯光是那个头灯，它从第一代开的车到这一代开的车，那真的叫天壤之别。 我们这个是全 LED 头灯，还有雷射远光灯哦。光是这个科技的这个进化，其实都让他能够感受到超级大的不同哦。
Everyone knows, and especially you, as you have been writing about the perfect teamwork with Audi over many years, and Audi Sport, the way they achieved that. So I don't want to spend too much time on the perfect teamwork.
OK， 所以呢，其实大家都知道，其实奥迪在过去几年连续赢了这么多场的这个世界冠军哦，就是我们的利曼冠军。所以呢，他现在不会再多强调说团队合作有多重要这件事情。
But I can't help telling that when you have a well-executed pit stop, when they have been practicing to do these things and doing everything like it's a ballet at the hardest point. But here, everything is very hot. The brakes are up to 900 degrees, the engine, the turbo, even hotter. So 4 tires changed. Schlemmy here, he's doing the windscreen and he has 7 to 9 seconds to do that. Loic Duval is jumping out. I'm trying to jump in. And at the same time, the refueling is done with 60 liters of diesel. And at the same time, the air jacket on the back is ready to be released. And when it's released, I better have my thumbs on the steering wheel, because at the same time it's going down, the engine is ready, and I have to release the clutch, and off going into the track again. So when it's going well, there's nothing better. But it only goes well because everyone in the team wants it to go well.
好，所以各位，团队合作呢，他还是忍不住要再说说看。你看他进这次站哦，他在进站的这段期间里面有多少工作要完成？包含要加油，包含要换胎。各位别忘了，那个轮胎从赛道上面下来有800-900度的这种高温哦，包含引擎都是哦。那这个趴在车上的这个人，他负责到7到9秒时间呢，他要把这个整个前挡风玻璃全部都清干净，否则他等一下接下来没办法跑。加上他必须要帮他的队友爬出车子外面，然后呢，他要进到这个车子里面，所有这些工作大概在1分钟左右一定要完成。而且他的那个是被顶高了，顶高机之后呢，因为他顶高了之后，他没有办法发动，所以呢，他上了车之后，他第一件事情就直接把它怎么样压住，因为这样子，当你的顶高机一拿开之后，车子还没碰到地面的时候，引擎就开始发动起来，这样一碰到地面，离合器放，立刻就出去，真的是非常紧张的一个停站哦。
At Audi Sport, everyone has ownership in whatever we do in that sense. Quite a flat organization. Everyone with a flat organization in that sense means they take ownership. And take ownership means responsibility. And when do you need that responsibility at the most? It's when things are really at stake, when you have challenges. Like this year.
OK, 所以各位，他说哦，在这样的一个团队合作当中，大家这种所谓的这种责任心啊，真的是非常重要哦，责任心非常重要，因为就在这一年的比赛当中呢，这一览无遗哦。好，我们接下来听我讲。
This year it happened to rain 19 out of 24 hours, and the gearbox, which was perfectly built and was pedal shift, so it was built to normally with full throttle, just going up through the gears with full throttle, or at least 80%, that was all right. But when you had rain, like 19 out of the 24, things were different.
好，所以各位，在这一年的比赛当中呢，24小时的比赛里面有19个小时全都是在下雨。好，所以各位，下雨除了湿地打滑的状况会发生之外，就连换挡都不一样。他刚模拟的那个声音是正常的方式来换挡的话，就是怎么样？你就是换挡就直接全油门直接把它换过去都不会有问题。可是下雨就不是了。
It's many years ago, but things were different in that sense. When you're driving and you are having the wet parts, you're coming out of corners in first, second gear, and you really can't get the power on the ground.
好，所以各位，在当时呢，它跑道不是整个都是湿的，而是某一部分跑道是湿的，某一部分是干的，因为它太长了哦。所以呢，你在出弯的时候呢，它的1档、2档的时候呢，很难很正确的换得进去，因为湿地的关系。
You're coming out of the chicanes on the Mulsanne Straight. The rear gear wants to go everywhere you go. You can't get the 800 horsepower on ground. But you go up through the gears, and immediately you're in third gear, you go to 200, you're in fourth gear, you're going up to fifth gear, and you're reaching 280 kilometers an hour. And you can't really see anything because the fog of the rain is really there. And in the middle of the night, then, you know, it's a bit like yesterday when you drive down from Taipei, and you're coming out of the main highway, and when you get up over 300 kilometers an hour in your Audi, it gets silent. Then I know you, journalist, you know exactly what it is and what it takes. You lift the throttle a little bit, but you're very, very sensitive with the steering because you're sensitive people. And when at that point, you just catch it back because you know you're aquaplaning. But when you're aquaplaning lap after lap, it makes you older, I can tell you. And this was a perfect example of, with these white tires, driving on this great track, that when we had these gear changes, always doing with this part throttle, at some point, I was told to push a lot. And during the night we were pushing and we were getting and extending the lead, but we were driving more in a way than we could. But we were lucky to survive in the morning and had a big lead until.
所以各位，他刚刚讲的是他在这场雨赛中，OK， 他在这样雨季的这种雨天的这种比赛里面呢，开车已经很困难，可是呢，他必须还要接受车队指令，车队指令告诉他说再快一点，再快一点，还要再快一点，他觉得都已经很 over 了。虽然现在已经在领先的地位上，可是呢，他一直领先，一直领先，车队讲再多一点，再把这个领先拉大一点，直到
yes。And then I was in the car again where it was kind of dry on intermediate tires and there was more load on the car. And then what the engineers has predicted, unfortunately, happened. I came out of an hour. The gear went through. One gear broken and I changed up again. And going in a higher gear on the radio. Gearbox, go where the gearbox broken. Engineer, cool. Copy. We expected that. Drive straight into the box. What the Audi mechanics did is, I think that pressed the wrong. I drive then straight in the box, and the mechanics are all over the car because in the pit lane there can only work 4, but in the box everyone can work. It's Frank Wheeler already jumping in, I'm jumping out, and honestly, it took 5 minutes and some seconds. It was done. Changed the gearbox, everything behind the engine, gearbox, differential, suspension, drive shaft, exhaust, everything was made in a module because they knew if we had an issue, they would change it, and they did. In less than 6 minutes, we were driving out again with 4 new tires and refueled again. And as you go out of the pit, you just get out of in front of the competition, and we managed to win that race. But not we, the mechanics won the race. If they had taken a minute more, which is quite easy, we would not have won the race. So just for you, and right, that anyone with an Audi, when they go to the workshop, just tell them, do the gearbox in 6 minutes and I'll have a coffee in the meantime, because it's possible.
所以各位，他提到说，他刚才呢一直在雨天里面被要求被拉大，这个领先到底要干嘛？终于在一个弯道之后，他了解了，因为他开始出弯之后，他整个引擎就开始空转，为什么？因为那个齿放掉了，那个他的变速箱的齿放掉之后呢，他就很紧张，赶快跟他的这个pit crew讲说，我的这个变速箱挂了然后跟这个团队里面就跟他讲说，没有问题，我们早就料到这样，直接开进来开进来不是开进站，是直接开进到他们的那个维修区里面去然后接下来整个团队所有的工程师全都扑上来，然后在5分钟左右的时间，将引擎之后的包含变速箱、包含差速器、包含排气管、包含整个驱动轴跟它的那个避震器全部都换掉了。所以呢，在5分钟左右的时间换完了之后再出去，还在领先的地位还在领先的地位所以呢，他终于了解原来一切都是早就已经在盘算之中了所以真的团队很重要那但是这个告诉我们一件事情，下次回到保养厂的时候，绝对不要要求你的技师说5分钟帮你换完一个变速箱OK， yeah.
But this, I think, will set the scene for the next one. This is the lovely Audi R8, which went on to win Le Mans 5 times with Audi Sport, and the board management decided that one of the cars we are driving out here today is called an R8, so it's close to my heart. Amen.
哦，对，好，所以各位，这台车呢，真的是帮助他站上今天的这个位置很重要的一台车，因为这台车的赛车的名字就叫 R8。好，各位 ，R8 是这台车先出现，后来才有各位今天看的 R8，因为这台车的 R8 是为了要纪念这台赢的5次利曼冠军的这部 R8 哦。
But in the meantime, our crazy engine boss, crazy, decided to engineer a different engine type to go Le Mans. And I set the scene for this Le Mans here. It's with a 12-cylinder TDI engine in the back of us. And we were not favorites. It was another car manufacturer, but I'm not allowed from Terry to mention which one, but it was a French one, and they had a logo from a lion.
You see everything. Alright, okay. 好，所以各位，他说哦，后来呢，因为我们在参加这场利曼比赛的时候呢，其实奥迪就是我任何新的科技我都要尝试。我如果汽油引擎一直都可以赢，那接下来我就要来尝试看看用柴油引擎看能不能赢。可是呢，这也让他们遇到了一些挑战，因为他们遇到一个非常强劲的来自对国，然后标志是一只狮子的那个对手啊。
It is 2008, and all you well-educated motor press, you thought we would get beaten. We will see.
Okay.
Jason Statham, you guys also know the famous actor. He narrates it. It's a small film from the Truth in 24, a documentary about Audi, which nobody knew was being made. You will see how he's the engineer responsible for the car. Whatever will be touched or done on this car, he is responsible. You will hear him. You'll see Dindo Capello driving well in the car, and it's starting to rain because it always rains at Le Mans. So please enjoy a few minutes.
好，各位，我们接下来来看一部纪录片哦。那这部纪录片里面呢，就记载着当他们换上新的引擎之后，然后又遇上了一个最强劲的这个对手哦。那这个其实是后来再帮他剪辑起来的一个纪录片，但是呢，各位可以像是欣赏一部电影一样的来观赏它哦。Okay, let's play the movie.
The Audi strategy has taken everything into account, including the weather. But it always rains at Le Mans.
We have our own weather system there, we have our own radar. We can predict rain to 3 minutes. So we knew the rain was coming.
Did know your information. Next, into Ulsan corner and Porsche curve. There could be some very tight drizzle.
Audi's moment has arrived.
We knew it would be a big advantage and we were ready for it. Simple as that.
Two cars in here, driver change taking place. Capello did about 3.5 stints there. And Tom is in, TK is in.
By the time Kristensen climbs into the car, Villeneuve's lead is down to a minute. The Formula One and Indy 500 champion is no match for Mr. Le Mans.
It's still going to be the same weather for the next 40 minutes, at least. When you think of comfortable driving, this isn't it. Dark, greasy, traffic. Very late around the outside there of that slower GT car. Now the road looks clear for a little bit.
You look up in the monitor in the pitch black and the big raindrops are coming down and you see them going at 310, 315, 320. It's pitch black. And you just get, it's amazing. It's an amazing thing.
At night when you are on the right tires,
You get into the rhythm. You really feel like you're one with the car. The very fast corners, you don't see the apex of the corner before you're actually there. So you drive really a lot on your determination, you drive a lot on your confidence. And at night, when you're fast, there's nothing better.
Villeneuve is on top, but Tom Kristensen is chasing him down. The gap now just over 10 seconds, so TK taking sometimes 7-8 seconds a lap out of Villeneuve's lead. And as Tom rolled down there, the margin between he and Villeneuve was just 2.9 seconds.
They pit at the same time. Audi adds only fuel. Persia also changes tires and drivers. By the time Villeneuve is out of the car, Kristensen is long gone. So is Peugeot's lead.
TK in the
好，所以各位刚才这场比赛哦，刚刚看到奥迪第一年换上了这个柴油引擎之后呢，结果他真的遇到了那个近点哦，就是那个标志在前面跑。但是呢，当他们在前面跑的时候，后来换他们上了我们的奥迪之后呢，我们就一路追赶，原本的差距大概有1分钟哦，一路追赶，慢慢追赶到最后只剩下10秒钟。而这中间呢，刚好就遇上了他刚刚说的利曼这个地方永远都要下雨哦，永远都要下雨。所以刚才在那个无线电上面一直在通知他说，你等一下通过哪个湾之后呢，你开始会遇到一个毛雨，而且呢，从那之后每个湾里面都有一台车摔出去了啊，所以呢要小心开。可是，在这样子的情况之下，他还是想办法的抓进，到最后呢，他们同时进站的时候，他们大概只差10秒钟左右。那10秒钟呢，他们同时进站之后，结果 Tom 只有在车上加油之后呢，他继续往前开。可是对手是叫 Jack Villeneuve 啊，他呢在下车了哦，他已经动不了要换手了。然后所以既然他下车就换胎加油什么的都一起来。结果 Tom 出去了之后呢，他们还留在这个 pit 里面哦，原本的这个领先位置呢就整个交换过来。Yes.
But that was just a small part of the race. The race went on and on. They got back, caught us again. It was raining again in the morning. It was a fantastic race. And some of you have called it the best 24 hours in history. So it was a great race to eventually to drive it over the finish line where they almost catch us again in the end, where people were everything we call it the best because everything was done on an aggressive strategy. The mechanics pit stop, they were risking things and it worked. The strategy, we were risking things and it worked, and sometimes barely, almost not. And these things really was so satisfying for the whole crew. They were simply after the race, they were so, they were completely dead. But they had just done a superb job. And that's why we call it the best Le Mans, us being part of the Audi sport during this period.
好，所以各位这一场比赛呢，坦白讲，真的赢得很辛苦哦，因为当年的奥迪不是场上最快的车，可是每一个团队的成员呢，大家都在冒一点点险，但是这个险也必须得要冒，因为呢，你必须要冒这个险，你才有办法有机会赢得这个比赛。所以呢，其实刚那个领先不是一直领先下去，后来又开始一直在交换，一下他领先，一下奥迪领先，一下他们领先，到最终冲过终点线的时候，终于是奥迪是第一个冲过终点线，虽然他们就追在后面哦。所以那场比赛之后，大家真的是松了一大口气哦，因为大家每一个人都是绷紧了24个小时的。
There's just this problem with Le Mans, and in particular with Audi, that you only celebrate for a short time. Monday morning, it takes a year to get to the race, but already Monday morning, you start to think about the next race again. And that has always been the issue with both Audi and Le Mans. So to make progress, we have to keep working.
Yes, 所以各位，你不要以为说哦这样子哦，跑完这场比赛可以好好的庆祝哦。这个是礼拜天跑完了之后呢，礼拜一开始呢，明年比赛要怎么跑，又开始了啊，又开始了。所以呢， 这个他说在奥迪的这样的团队里面呢，有这种氛围的这种合作，但是各位压力也是非常的巨大哦。
The latest edition of winning Le Mans, our type of racing car, was when we won with the R18 e-tron Quattro. And just to justify a little bit of the thing is that this year there was a lot of local rain. It means the long track, but only raining at one part of the track and the rest was dry, which makes it another challenge. And it could well be like this when you are tuning the car later. It might rain down at turn 1 and 2, but it's dry up when you're doing the last 3-4 corners.
好，所以各位，这个是他后来跑的最后的一场比赛。不过这场比赛真的很艰巨哦。为什么？因为这一场比赛当中呢，有很多所谓的 local rain， 就是只有这个几个弯道在下雨，然后其他地方全都是干的。天哪，这样胎完全不知道怎么选哦。你想象一下，你的这个第一个弯是湿的，然后到后面完全整个都是干的，那这样子你真的在跑比赛的那个韵律完全会被破坏掉。
And with rain and night, the extra element to that. So when you are following a leading car like that, and you get close, visibility get poor. And that's where I want to put you. I'd like to put you into the cockpit again very soon.
OK， 好，所以等一下呢，我们等一下会帮大家呢，在移师到驾驶座上面哦。各位可以想象一下，刚才这样子的画面当中，然后你在后面那台车，结果呢，你追上领先的这个车子的时候呢，你的眼前只有一片的模糊哦，因为呢，前面全部都要捡取的水花哦。Yeah.
I'm sorry, Randy, he put in a picture just to fool me a little bit, but it's just to show, I think that to show that boring racing drivers like we are, always focusing on the point everywhere we go, but he has found one picture where we at least had a little bit of fun. So they are not all just boring and stubborn.
所以各位，很多人都说车手其实是一个超无聊的人哦，因为就只会怎么样拼命踩油门跟转方向盘哦，一点乐趣都没有，一点情绪都没有。他说谁说的？这张照片就可以看得出来，他们还是会耍网的哦。
But still, they still like to be more fun when it's going well. So when we won the World Championship, Lloyd Duval, Alan McNish, and myself, racing drivers tend to be more funny when it's going well.
所以当然，如果真的比赛的成果非常让人家值得庆祝的时候呢，他们也会有时候会自取一些乐趣哦。
But I guess you put in this picture because we are buddies, we are colleagues, we are office workers, and we get to sit down in some heavy, fast, and office sometimes. And here's just a picture of what has been mine for a long time.
所以各位，接下来呢，他要来邀请大家来参观一下他跑了好长一段时间的办公室哦，这是他的办公室哦。OK。
Whoa! Welcome inside a modern, cramped sports car. It's very small. It's very, very claustrophobic in a way. This is the driver's view. Very narrow. The A-pillars, the wheel arches. You can just focus on the racing line. You're sitting very tight in the seat. It's up to 45 degrees when you are racing. You don't just get a little bit of fresh air from this, but it's not fantastic airflow because it's full of dust, it's full of carbon dioxide and monoxide when you're fighting with other cars. From the exhaust and brakes and tires, from the other cars you are fighting with. It's all coming in and creating a cocktail of adrenaline, mental risk management when you're sitting inside the car. So the drivers nowadays are really athletes. I mean, in the steering wheel, it's 8 to 10 kilos, controlling the car on the limit, and then the G-forces of up to 4 Gs in braking, 3.5 through the cornering, putting 90 kilos of brake force on the brake pedal with your left foot. They are losing 1.5 liters of fluid per state, so they need to drink, they need to get some. He's talking a lot. Can you translate, please?
好，各位，他刚才呢邀请大家来看他的办公室哦，他办公室长什么样子？一坐进去，其实很小的一个空间哦，而且呢，那个 A 柱哦，赛车也有 A 柱的哦 ，A 柱呢这么狭窄，那就算没有 A 柱，其实外面也有2个好大的轮拱哦，所以呢，实际上呢，你大概只有45度角左右的视角没有关系，因为你时速300的时候，你的视角大概也只剩下这样子而已哦。好，那车舱里面呢？当然，即便连今天的赛车都没有空调，所以呢，45度的高温，你必须得要在里面一直拼战。然后外面的确是会有一些风进来哦，但是那些风呢， 一点都不完美，因为前面又是叠灰，又是橡皮的味道，又是前面的车的这个油烟的这个味道，所以呢，其实是非常非常艰困的一个环境。所以在那样的情况之下，他每过一个高速弯，他手的力量大概要出到8到10公斤。然后左脚去踩刹车的时候，在最重的那下刹车，他可能要踩到10几公斤，将近20公斤的这个踏力哦。所以呢，其实是非常非常低的，而且呢，一趟下来大概就要流掉1.5公升的汗。所以每一次进站就要拼命一直补给，拼命一直喝水哦。各位听起来比跑马拉松还要夸张哦。
And that's exactly where I would like to end. That is in the cockpit. Now it's back to you again. You'll be in the nice cars now. And that's the cockpit. A little bit less complex than that. Everything is taken care of. You are in very good hands, in good cars, and you should enjoy it. I hope you like the journey, which in a way started there. Honestly, I was not young back then, but I have driven these cars and have driven the sort of the red trade through all these years. I have been in all the cars, some in racing, some in competition, most of them. Not this one, but that's where it all started. And I hope you can feel the DNA when you are out driving and trying to find the rhythm and play the game of cones as they are perfectly situated out on this track. So if there's no or if there's questions, then please after the translation.
OK， 好，所以各位他最终呢要在这张照片这里呢要把它停下来啊，就是说他的刚才他带着我们经历过他的这个赛车生涯呢，在这个地方呢，最终他还是要回到最起点。刚才各位那台车不知道认不认得，那是什么车 ？Auto Union， 那个是第一部奥迪的赛车，我们那个时候叫做 Silver Arrow 就是银剑的这个时期啊。那当然，他在这么多年以来也开过很多的这个赛车。其实这台赛车他也开过，当然不是比赛的时候开，是后来他成为我们的利曼先生之后呢，我们又邀请他回来开这部车了哦。好，那当然，等一下各位也要到自己的这个驾驶座上，但是呢，不用担心，没有那么激烈，因为呢，我们这里所有的一切都已经帮你看顾得非常好了哦。那所以呢，大家等一下，然后上座之后就可以开始享受了。好，那不知道各位在这个阶段有没有什么问题想提出来，可以直接问的。当然，如果您可以直接问他，也可以不用透过我翻译，可以直接问，好不好 ？Any question for Mr. Kristensen?
Very, very good. There's many questions, but you're a journalist, no question. That's funny. But it's good, because this one, there's a little side to this one. I mean, when I drove this car at Hockenheim, when I came in, I was very happy. I had the experience of going so far back in time. It was a fantastic experience. But what met me in the pit lane was a fast-walking big boss of Audi looking at me, and he said, "Tom, 10 million euro!" But racing cars are meant to be driven. We know that.
Yes,
because we are buddies. We know that. Thank you very much.